got to tell you, the people in Iowa are so much nicer than in New Jersey. Let's give it up for Iowa. T, what did you think, man? What did you think of the group?
Yeah, the people were friendly out here. We went to CVS when we first, was it CVS or Walgreens? It was one of those stores we went to when we got here, and when we walked in, the lady working there was like, "How are you guys? What can I help you with?" We had like a long conversation with the lady that worked there, and it wouldn't happen back in Jersey where we're from, because people just don't even want to help you when you go to a store.
Kate, aka Black Widow, she spoke today about engagement, cultural engagement, and she had the crowd engaged.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Hopefully we keep disseminating the science in different ways, you know. Now in Jersey...
Wait, didn't we just pass it?
I think we did. I went in a big circle because I missed it. No, it's the Twilight Zone thing.
My first recommendation would be to get some baseline information. Take a look at your current organizational culture. Not what you want it to be, not what you think it is, but what it actually is. So what are people saying about your organization? What are you currently prioritizing? Where are your employees spending the most time? Next, think about your long-term vision. So same thing that we do with our learners, our clients. We're looking at the parents or the client's long-term vision. Where do you see this going in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? So where do you want your organization to go? Are you currently prioritizing what's in alignment with this vision? And if you're not, that's okay. That's why you do this, to figure that out. And what do you want your larger impact to be? So answer all these questions and really think about what's important to you in your career and your organization.
You know, last night, Kate and myself and Tyler, we sat and we were just talking about various examples. And we found that as long as the decisions are executed with behavioral science principles, they all seem to flow back to these three things, and they have for almost 16 years now. The first one that seems to resonate with people is making sure that what we do, and I might suggest this for you guys, we make number one the employees' families first. Yep. So the employee's family comes before the client, which might disrupt the industry a little bit and upset some people. So if a client or a learner's parent would ask me, I don't just really brag about that, but when it comes to our customer base, but if they were to ask me, I would be 100% straight with them. Our employees and their families are going to need to come before you. The second one, which is really important, is you may have high retention and low turnover when you can help every single person in your organization move towards finding what they're extremely passionate about. So even if it's for 5% of their day, even if that 5% of their day is somewhat, they're doing it without pay and it's something they're given latitude, creativity, innovation, and they're not being micromanaged, but they can pursue a niche, that can go a long way in making someone a lifelong employee or really enjoying what they do. Because the other 95% of the day might just be satisfactory, but that 5% makes it all worth it. And then the third is that it's really important when you set the stage with your organization or as a leader, make sure that you'll share every resource that you have. I love knowing that if Angela, who also has a son on the autism spectrum, his son is going through some kind of problem with his school district, and as long as it's not a conflict of interest, and he's a vulnerable learner, and Angela's son is somehow his rights are being violated, I love knowing that the business can somehow, or my own personal resources can provide an attorney for Angela so she can get her son exercising his rights under FAPE and LRE. So things like that are important. Providing all the resources you can for the people so that way they feel safe.
Brett actually coached me through this, a lack of engagement versus disengagement, and they're two different things. But when you look up in the dictionary disengagement, you see to release or detach oneself. And when you're talking about an employee, it sounds like that is the worst kind of employee you would want to have. And that's the worst kind of employee I would want to be. You don't want to be detached from the work that you're doing. Lack of engagement would be a person who shows up to work, does what they need to do, and not much else. So you're there and you're doing what you have to do, but you're not going above and beyond. So maybe you're supervising somebody, you show up, update the program, kind of watch what's happening, and you don't reinforce your supervisee's behavior. You're in, you're out, you're done. Versus disengagement, which is actively doing something that's detrimental to a client or your organization. So perhaps you're in a school and you see a crisis happening and you, all right, I'm gonna go, or you just watch it happen. So there's a difference between the two. Both are equally harmful, and we want to increase employees who are engaged, who are engaging in overt behaviors that support the organization's values or mission. So a lot of the things that Brett was talking about before, our values are entwined in everything that we do at the organization. And it helps when you're in a tricky situation. Last week I had a situation with one of my learners who went into a crisis situation. Because we've got such clear values and such a strong culture of community and connection, I was able to navigate that situation with help and guidance from some of my colleagues so much better than if I was trying to do it alone.